There comes a point in every man's life when the body begins to change in ways that feel unfamiliar. After the age of 50, energy shifts, hormones adjust, and the things that once felt automatic now require more attention and care. Yet one topic that remains surrounded by silence, confusion, and even guilt is masturbation. Many men quietly wonder, is this still healthy? Should I stop? Is it helping me or harming me? Let's address this clearly and honestly. Masturbation, even after 50, is not something shameful or unnatural. It is a normal part of human biology. In fact, for many men, it can play a role in maintaining sexual function, reducing stress, and even supporting prostate health. But like many things in life, the impact depends on how, why, and how often it is done. As men age, testosterone levels gradually decline. This can affect libido, mood, and physical responsiveness. Masturbation, when practiced in a balanced way, can help maintain blood flow to the genital area and keep the body responsive. Think of it less as a habit and more as a form of maintenance similar to exercise, but for a different system of the body. However, the real issue is not the act itself, it is the relationship a person has with it. If masturbation becomes excessive, compulsive, or tied to unhealthy patterns, such as isolation, reliance on unrealistic content, or avoidance of real emotional connection, then it can begin to work against you. Instead of supporting health, it may drain energy, reduce motivation, and create dissatisfaction with real-life intimacy. On the other hand, when it is approached with awareness, moderation, and respect for your body, it can actually be part of a healthy lifestyle. It can relieve tension, improve sleep, and even help you better understand your body's changing responses as you age. There is also an important emotional dimension to consider. After 50, many men experience changes in relationships. Some grow stronger, others face distance, and some men find themselves alone. In these situations, masturbation may serve as a form of release, but it should not replace meaningful human connection. Emotional health and physical health are deeply connected, and one cannot fully replace the other. Another key point is frequency. There is no universal correct number. What matters is whether it leaves you feeling energized or depleted. If it begins to interfere with daily life, relationships, or your sense of control, then it's time to reassess. Your body is constantly communicating with you. Fatigue, lack of motivation, or reduced satisfaction can be signals that something is out of balance, not necessarily that the act itself is wrong, but that the pattern needs adjustment. Let's also talk about guilt. Many men carry beliefs formed decades ago, often shaped by culture, upbringing, or misinformation. These beliefs can create unnecessary stress. At this stage of life, the focus should shift from judgment to understanding. Your goal is not to meet outdated expectations, but to support your long-term health and well-being. So, what should you do? First, stay aware. Pay attention to how your body and mind respond. Second, prioritize balance. Combine physical health, emotional connection, and mental clarity. Third, avoid extremes. Neither suppression nor overindulgence leads to lasting well-being. And finally, if you have concerns, whether physical or psychological, don't hesitate to seek professional advice. Sexual health is a legitimate part of overall health, not something to be ignored or hidden. At the end of the day, being over 50 is not about limitation. It is about refinement. It is about understanding your body better than ever before and making choices that support a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life. This conversation is not about telling you what to do. It is about giving you the clarity to decide what is right for you, with knowledge, awareness, and confidence. Healthy balance and moderation become increasingly important as a man moves beyond age of 50, not because life needs to become restrictive, but because the body and mind respond differently than they once did. What may have felt effortless or harmless in younger years can now carry different effects, making awareness and self-regulation essential. The idea is not to eliminate natural behaviors, but to approach them with a sense of control, intention, and respect for long-term well-being. Moderation is often misunderstood as limitation, yet in reality it is a form of freedom, allowing a person to enjoy aspects of life without becoming dependent on them or experiencing negative consequences. At this stage of life, energy levels are more valuable, and how that energy is used matters more than ever. When any activity, including masturbation, begins to feel automatic or driven by habit rather than conscious choice, it can gradually take more than it gives. Balance means being able to engage without feeling drained afterward, without losing focus on other priorities, and without interfering with relationships, responsibilities, or personal growth. A healthy pattern is one that fits naturally into life, rather than dominating it or replacing more meaningful forms of connection and fulfillment. The body often provides subtle signals when balance is off. Fatigue, reduced motivation, irritability, or a sense of dissatisfaction can all be indicators that something is being overdone or approached in an unhealthy way. These signals are not punishments but guidance. Learning to listen to them is part of developing a mature and sustainable approach to health. Moderation does not require strict rules or counting frequency, but it does require honesty. Asking simple questions like whether the behavior feels refreshing or depleting, whether it aligns with personal values, and whether it supports overall well-being can offer more clarity than any fixed guideline. Mental and emotional balance are just as important as physical considerations. When an activity becomes a primary way of coping with stress, boredom, loneliness, or anxiety, it can gradually limit emotional growth. Instead of addressing the root causes of discomfort, it creates a temporary escape. Over time, this pattern can reduce resilience and make it harder to find satisfaction in other areas of life. A balanced approach encourages variety in how stress is managed, including physical activity, social interaction, hobbies, and relaxation techniques. This diversity strengthens overall well-being and prevents reliance on a single outlet. Another important aspect of moderation is maintaining a realistic perspective. In today's world, exposure to unrealistic expectations through media can distort perceptions of normal behavior and performance. This can lead to unnecessary pressure or dissatisfaction. A balanced mindset focuses on personal health rather than comparison, recognizing that changes in the body are natural and do not diminish one's value or masculinity. Accepting these changes allows for a more relaxed and confident approach to sexual health, reducing anxiety and improving overall satisfaction. Relationships also play a crucial role in defining balance. For those who are in partnerships, open communication and mutual understanding help ensure that personal habits do not create distance or misunderstanding. Balance involves respecting both individual needs and shared intimacy, finding a rhythm that supports connection rather than replacing it. For those who are single, balance means ensuring that personal habits do not become a substitute for meaningful human interaction. Maintaining friendships, engaging in community, and staying socially active contribute significantly to emotional and mental health. Discipline is often seen as restrictive, but in this context, it serves as a tool for empowerment. Being able to choose when and how to engage in any behavior rather than feeling compelled by it strengthens self-control and confidence. This sense of control extends beyond one area of life and positively influences other habits, including diet, exercise, and sleep. Moderation becomes part of a broader lifestyle that prioritizes long-term vitality over short-term impulses. Ultimately, healthy balance is not about perfection, but about consistency and awareness. It allows room for enjoyment while protecting against excess, supports both independence and connection, and adapts to the evolving needs of the body and mind. By embracing moderation, a man over 50 can maintain not only his physical health, but also his sense of purpose, clarity, and overall quality of life. Understanding your body after the age of 50 requires a shift from assumption to awareness, from routine to intention, and from comparison to personal insight. The body you live in now is not the same one you had in your 30s or even your 40s, and expecting it to respond in identical ways can lead to frustration and confusion. This stage of life is not defined by decline, but by transition, where learning replaces instinct and attention replaces neglect. It becomes essential to observe how your body reacts to different habits, how quickly it recovers, and what it needs to function at its best. One of the most noticeable changes involves hormonal balance, particularly testosterone levels, which naturally decrease over time. This shift can influence energy, mood, libido, and physical responsiveness. It does not mean that desire or capability disappears, but it often becomes less automatic and more dependent on overall health. Sleep quality, nutrition, physical activity, and stress levels all begin to play a larger role in shaping how the body performs. Understanding this connection allows you to take a more complete approach to well-being rather than focusing on isolated symptoms. Circulation is another key factor that becomes increasingly important. Blood flow supports not only heart health, but also sexual function and physical endurance. As the body ages, maintaining good circulation requires more conscious effort through movement, exercise, and avoiding prolonged inactivity. Even small daily habits, such as walking regularly or stretching, can have a meaningful impact. When the body feels more responsive and energized, it reflects a deeper level of internal balance rather than temporary stimulation. Recovery time is also different after 50. The body may take longer to regain energy after physical or mental exertion, and this applies to all aspects of life. Pushing beyond limits without allowing proper rest can lead to fatigue and reduced performance over time. Learning to pace yourself is not a sign of weakness, but a strategy for sustainability. It ensures that energy is preserved and used wisely, allowing for consistency rather than cycles of overexertion and exhaustion. Another important aspect is sensitivity to habits. The body becomes more responsive to both positive and negative behaviors. Healthy choices tend to produce noticeable benefits, while unhealthy patterns can create more immediate drawbacks. This heightened sensitivity can be used to your advantage. By paying attention to how different actions affect your mood, energy, and overall comfort, you gain valuable feedback that helps refine your lifestyle. This process turns everyday experiences into a guide for better decision making. Mental and emotional awareness also become more significant. Stress, anxiety, and unresolved thoughts can have a stronger physical impact than before. The connection between mind and body becomes clearer, making it important to address not only physical health but also emotional well-being. Practices such as mindfulness, relaxation, and maintaining social connections contribute to a more stable and balanced state. When the mind is calm and focused, the body often follows. Changes in sexual health are part of this broader picture. Response times may be slower, sensitivity may vary, and expectations may need adjustment. Instead of viewing these changes as problems, they can be understood as signals to adapt. Patience, communication, and a focus on overall health can lead to a more satisfying and less pressured experience. This stage of life often allows for a deeper understanding of intimacy, where quality becomes more important than speed or frequency. Nutrition also plays a larger role than it may have in earlier years. The body requires adequate nutrients to support hormonal balance, muscle maintenance, and overall vitality. Poor dietary choices can have a more noticeable impact, while balanced nutrition can enhance energy and resilience. Hydration in particular becomes essential, as even mild dehydration can affect physical and cognitive performance. Ultimately, understanding your body after 50 is about building a relationship with it. It involves listening rather than ignoring, adjusting rather than resisting, and respecting rather than pushing beyond limits. This awareness creates a foundation for better health decisions, improved confidence, and a more stable sense of control over your well-being. Instead of relying on outdated expectations, you begin to respond to what your body is telling you in the present, creating a lifestyle that supports both longevity and quality of life.